3-2 at home. It's like not the best result.
Yeah.
Like you say, the media are kind of spinning it into like this big thing.
Yeah.
We've also got stuff with Diego Costa that's not helping.
Yeah.
With us, it's a similar kind of thing. I mean, we obviously won our first game, but then there is this whole fucking Wembley.
Yeah, it's not as big a thing, I would say. Obviously, you can't. Obviously, it's difficult to argue that you guys.
For us it is. 'Cause there no one,
yeah, but no one would argue that Spurs went into this game, ignore the subs, in a better sort of position mentality wise than Chelsea did. Yeah, of course.
Well,
Goes without saying. Of course, yeah.
I've never felt more confident about beating Chelsea.
Yeah,
than I did.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. Leading up to it, I know we were joking about, but I know you were very confident.
Usually I'm
what did I say to you? I said I could see us losing definitely. I said, but I did, however. I think I did also say, like, we could beat you, and in fact, I could easily see a draw. But, if I was to put money on something, knowing all those factors going in, biggest thing, the red cards and the new starters, you have to say, well, Spurs obviously have the upper hand. Like, in the prior to it, I would have put money. Look, if I was going to bet, I probably would have bet on a draw, even though my gut would have told me we're more likely to lose than anything. However, you're right. The stadium plays into it too, which is an interesting thing. I guess before we go on to sort of what we thought of the game, and knowing the result now, how do you think? Because I was going to ask you this at the end of us talking about the game, but I guess kind of going into it now. How with especially now post game, Pochettino saying it's just a stadium. It shouldn't affect anything. That's what he said. But, that's one guy's opinion. I know he's the manager, but what do you think? I think potentially it does. I mean, it obviously affected West Ham, but then again, they're a shit team anyway. Should a team at Tottenham's level,
at the end of the day,
is every game going to be a final?
No, at the end of the day,
you don't want that feeling,
if it didn't make a difference, then, home form and away form would be completely irrelevant.
I think it probably does make a difference.
But teams are generally better at home. So I think to a certain extent, I'm not going to make it as an excuse.
Yeah, of course. At this level, they can't be.
They can't be, exactly. But I do think that it will be different, and it might take us a bit of time to adapt to it. We obviously didn't last season in the Champions League. Saying that, I was really happy with our performance.
Okay, well, we can go on to that then. I'll just... okay, but I don't know, obviously, there's, we're going to have varying opinions on the game as well.
Neither of us are going to have the same opinion on the
I guess,
game, are we?
Yeah, I guess, essentially, to summarise, if I was to make a summary on the game, before I say, or you say, kind
we'll
of...
just both give our summary of what we think, and then...
Well, if there was to be a general summary on the game, it would be, would you agree, it would be Spurs, more possession, more chances, Chelsea... less chances, more clinical, more decisive, and more kind of, I guess, I guess decisive defensively as well, blocking up shot, but a bit more efficient.
Pochettino said after the game, he said, he commented on how Chelsea set up for the game. He didn't say it in positive or negative light, he just acknowledged it. You guys played very deep, we were playing... Probably, we play a high line anyway.
Yeah.
But that game,
I was reading...
we seem to be playing fucking stupid high. Overall, my thoughts on the game.
Okay.
I was really happy with the performance. Apart from Wanyama, probably the worst I've seen him playing a fucking Spurs.
The entire game?
Yeah, he was shit. He kept giving the fucking ball away. Just kept giving the ball away. It's useless.
Last time we played you, he was a massive pain in the arse. He was not...
No, he's a fucking brilliant player, but he just had...
We also had a different midfield lineup, which was very impressive.
Yeah, but then... So first goal, we couldn't do anything about it. It was a great free kick. We were fortunate, obviously, with Batshuayi's
fortunate with the own goal. Yeah.
Fucking Alonso one. If Lloris
should have done it.
If he just fucking stood there,
saved it,
the ball would have hit him in the fucking leg. It wouldn't have been a goal. So, to be fair, look, gun to my head, watching the game.
But you can't use that, because then to be fair, you can also say, as you said, Kane missed a couple of goals. You think he would have got. Morata missed a complete sitter, and another one that was kind of like Kane's misses. To be fair, Morata's could have 100% gone in if it was anybody else standing there. He just fucking missed it completely. Unbelievable.
With Lloris, I think a draw would have been a fair result.
I guess. Okay. Well, all right. Fair enough.
I would say, to be honest, on the performance, neither team deserved.
When we scored the own goal, I think draw. Once we got that second goal, and how we were, like, I think we deserved the win then.
I don't think you deserved it.
I think so.
No.
I think so. And general criticism is that, you know, Spurs did push, but Chelsea were more decisive and better, and they deserved the point.
They were better than us that game.
Better. Well, they were, Mike. We beat you.
It doesn't it's not. We've had more possession. We had more.
That doesn't make you better. That doesn't mean you're better.
You know that it's not that black. Football's not that black
No.
and white.
Okay. Here's exactly. I know it's not black and white. That's why a team being better completely does not come down to shots on target, possession. You guys were at home. We're away. We were missing a ton of players. We had red cards, and we still managed to be clinical. Exactly what we were last season in difficult games, and we went on to win the league. I think, like I said, when the owned goal, which was the goal you got, which was an own goal, and it was a freakish header, by the way, when that happened, I thought, you know what, draw's fair result. Spurs, you know, you have been pushing loads. You did a lot, most of the pressure in the game, and fair enough. Like, especially, you know, you guys at home, and you know, I think all things considered. But then we got the second goal. Yes, it was a Reece cock up, but nonetheless, it was a goal, and it came from us attacking. You know, by then I thought, okay, I think I deserved to win. Not a complete outright run out. Like I said, 10 minutes before that, I was sitting there thinking, you know, it's a draw. I mean, you know, and okay, well, you know, say what you like, you know, and football is not black and white, but on the back of that, I was winning due to being more clinical, doing what we did last season, which I think won us the league. You know, that's the kind of stuff that wins, and whether it was us winning the league or another team, you know, grinding out things that are difficult. And we talked about this the other day, in fact, and I think for me personally, and when Chelsea have won the Premier League, you know, that's always been the defining kind of feature, and it was good to see that as a response we provided, especially given the circumstances of the team and the fact that, you know, we're still looking for more signings. You know, even though, you know, I don't think it would be the end of the world if we didn't sign anyone else, but I think, you know, in that position, you know, Spurs did have a lot more chances. You did have more possession. You did have more pressure, but you know, we were more clinical, and I don't think that was by chance. You know, it just, you know, and we were defensively played really well, except for you know, if we're talking, you were talking about Wanyama, we had Rudiger, part of our back three. He was good last game against Burnley, funnily enough, even though we lost 3-2. But I thought he looked good. He actually didn't look that great against Spurs. You guys are causing a lot of trouble with him. I think even like Ericsson and stuff. Like he was having problems. Whereas Christensen, who what's his name? I think it's Andreas Christensen, who he's been on loan 2 years now at Borussia Mönchengladbach, whatever, and a couple of clubs before that. He's like 21 now, I think. He came on last game because we had to take a player off due to us going down to 10 men. But that was his first Premier League start for us since we bought him, I think, like 4 years ago, and he only had one. Oh, no, in fact, it may have still been his first. But this was his first Premier League start, and he held the middle, and not only that, he held Kane really, really well. I think he did a brilliant job, in fact. And I was looking around as well, and there, like, multiple pundits were you know, praising him. You know, he stepped up to the level. You know, he didn't completely negate Kane from the game. Of course, he didn't, but I think he dealt with him very well and did incredibly well, especially considering where he's come from. So that's great. I mean, part of me hopes we don't necessarily sign another centre back, and maybe we just get Zuma back off loan potentially if we have issues, and we just kind of go with what we got. You know, put Cahill back in, and then we got Christensen on the bench. I think that'd be good. But yeah, Rudiger was an issue. If I was just to make a couple of points, I think you know, Morata missed a sitter, and essentially another one that was kind of a half sitter. But one that was ridiculous. He missed that. But he wasn't. I've got to be honest. He wasn't quite up to the Spurs defence. He had a really, really hard run of it, I would say. Probably my second load of criticism would probably be aimed at him. He was better last game when he came on. But, you know, it's going to take him time. His movement still looked really great. I think it was just your defence was on him, basically. And he had his hands full, and he didn't. But beyond that sitter and the other one, like, really, I couldn't see him doing too much. And then I guess Bakayoko starting for Premier League first game, looked impressive. Looks really confident, strong, and I think we've got a real fucking winner there in him. I think just from that game, obviously I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I think personally, club-wise, I think potentially, I mean, I'd love Morata to be our best signing, of course, but in a way, just like how I felt about Kante last season, maybe not quite the same, because Kante, we kind of knew what he was more so, even though, Bakayoko's played amazingly for Monaco, helped him win the league, in fact, in France the year before, and he's played well for the French national team. He's looking like a real awesome, powerful player. Like I said, I was kind of associating to, he's young, but like a Yaya Toure, that kind of sort of, he's a little bit less attacking, but he's just a central midfielder, can play box to box. He's already looking like I would pop him in there over Matic if I could, if the formation allows. So I'm happy with that. For me, that's kind of who we swapped him for, and that's because we don't want to have to. Every time we put Matic in, we'd have a problem with Fabregas. Fabregas plays shit when he plays at the back usually. So
I think he looks good, but he looks clumsy.
Who? Yeah, he's young. I would say I don't know if he looked clumsy. I think I see what you mean. Yeah, he didn't look finished product, no way. But I was more than just a bit impressed with him. I was very impressed watching him. But I enjoyed watching him, and I thought, sometimes it would have been different as well, because bear in mind I was watching him very closely, because for us, I've sort of seen Rudiger, I've seen Morata. He was the player I was watching the most, and I sort of thought, there's potentially a really amazing player there, and he looked good. I'll bet he's going to look better. It's a difficult position to play, especially coming from the French league to the English league, I think, and especially go against a team like Spurs. The fact he looks so good there. But he should. He's coming from a Monaco team who was playing in the Champions League, who was playing, playing the best teams in France and won the league. He should be good against, that level of player. But yeah, I think overall, obviously, man of the match, Alonso. The second to that, I think, I think Alonso probably, I definitely would have given the man of the match. Obviously, William looked good as well. He wasn't good. He hit the post. I'm sad about that because he's in my fantasy league, and I would have been so happy if he scored and Alonso got the brace. I would be like, ugh. And
I had him in the first.
yeah, so he's a good one. He costs a lot fantasy league, obviously, but that's why. Like I said to you before, we were just talking before the podcast started. He's just continuously got better, and Moses is he obviously plays on the other side, the right side instead. Moses is the one I'd put under. I'd get a wing back in who was to put him under contention as opposed to Alonso. Although competition's always good, and because I think Alonso will be the high scoring defender in the league. From watching him last season, the amount of goals he almost got was unbelievable, and the amount of assists he provided was amazing. So I really do think this season, if not the most, then he'd be up there second, third. And that's not a special prediction we're doing or anything. I just think he really, really does provide that. It'd be interesting to see what this Danilo at Man City provides, what Kyle Walker will be like at Man City, even Danny Rose. Is Danny Rose still injured?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, because he wasn't playing, was he?
He'll be back in training in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Or something.
But yeah, so I guess just quickly to summarise, and Andreas Christensen, like I said, really, really happy. Morata, good movement, better. We'll see. Courtois, I think, was good, on point, with a lot of shot stopping. Moses was good. I just think that overall, our entire team was pretty awesome, especially considering players we didn't field due to injuries, due to cards, and I'm happy with the result. I think Chelsea, by the end of it, by the very end, like I said, at night, whatever it was, 80 minutes, I thought a draw would be, even though if we scored the own fucking goal, draw would have been fair. I think Chelsea deserved the win, especially considering, fucking freakish own goal. The other downside was Batman didn't really, Batshuayi, despite scoring the own goal, he didn't really look anything when he came on. But like with your guys' sort of midfield and defence, and at home, even though obviously Wanyama wasn't playing that great, he said, it goes to show you guys can negate players pretty well. So I don't think Batman's quite at the Spurs big team level yet. So, so that's sort of my overall. I know maybe you don't agree necessarily completely, but Well, I guess I've got to say it was our perfect response to the defeat of Burnley. I hope people jump into conclusions over crisis after that. Which, in my opinion, I know we didn't have a pod last week. By the way, obviously, apologies for that. As I was going through chemo. But last week, obviously Chelsea lost. We were some players down. I think we were going to win the game up until 15 minutes when we lost a player. We were completely dominant, and then we just didn't respond. We should have not proper excuse, to be honest, professionalism, and then we crumbled again, and then guess what? In the last 30 minutes, we almost came back. We would have drew if the offside goal was not incorrectly given as offside. It was very clearly onside, and we may have even won if Fabregas hadn't got sent off. Well, his first yellow for clapping, silly. But yeah, anyways, I think perfect response. There's no crisis. I think we still need to fight. Definitely, are we in a position to win the league with European football in mind? Not yet. We need more signings. If there was no European football again, I'd say definitely, especially if we're going to play like we played today, without even our first 11 fully fit, and like new signings getting better. Anyways, I don't know. That's sort of my summary on the game. Anything further you'd like to add, Mike?
I don't know. We both got different ideas. I think I'm really happy with our performance. I think a draw would have been a fair result.
Okay.
I'm not going to comment on how you guys played.
Yeah.
I just want on how we played.
Yeah, no, fair. Well, like I said, I haven't really called any. Yeah, I like, as you said, I didn't notice completely about Wanyama, kind of, but like obviously you look at players differently, don't you? When it's your own team, etc. You look at certain players, it's an opportunity to analyse.
Well, look, at the end of the day, like Pochettino said, I'm really happy with the performance.
Fair enough.
We played really well. A draw would have been a fair result, I think.
Okay.
I will disagree with you saying that.
I'm not saying a draw wouldn't have been a fair result. I think fair result. Yeah, okay. But I think by the end of it, obviously we disagree. Chelsea deserved 3 points, and we got them. So, yeah. So, anyways, we'll move on. Then we'll see. So, I think obviously we just jumped to that. We were going to talk about that later on, but I think obviously that felt there pretty easily. I guess. We'll just move on to just quickly, just looking across the games coming up for next week, Mike. The game week 3. I mean, is there any interesting games you see across there? I mean, we've got Bournemouth, City, Palace, Swansea, Huddersfield, Southampton, Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Brighton, United, and Leicester, Chelsea, Everton. West Brom and Stoke, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs and Burnley. I mean, Liverpool, Arsenal obviously are the one that pop out the most. I think Chelsea, Everton. I think Everton are looking pretty interesting. Could be an interesting one with them. I'm always interested to see how City play, because with Pep and all these expensive players going in there, I can only imagine Bournemouth will lose against them, but. Like I said, if that was I always see Bournemouth being able to pull out a little fuck you sometimes, fuck you grenade, and I'd love that to land on City's face, but yeah.
I don't know, I think the top teams this season are going to be a bit more consistent.
Oh, 100%, I think so, yeah.
Liverpool are going to keep dropping points, Arsenal are going to drop
points. Liverpool's difficult, isn't it? Yeah, Liverpool, I think, are in an even better attacking position, although Coutinho's going, and that's difficult. But I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know. It's difficult. Liverpool are so they almost did it that one season, just with pure attacking, and then of course they fell over, and but then they haven't been able to repeat that since, not to the same level. What do you think about Huddersfield? Do you think just commenting on their next game against so they're at home to Southampton next week? Do you think they'll get 3 on the row?
I think they could do easily.
Yeah. They're not looking brilliant, are they?
Away. Yeah, fuck it. I reckon Huddersfield.
Do you reckon? I think so as well. I've got some kind of weird good feeling about them. I said I thought they'd go down. Now, I still think they may, but that doesn't mean I don't think they'll go on some cool little run at the start. And you were actually you were bigging them up the other day. To your credit, you were saying.
I still think that they will.
I don't think you said they'd stay up, but you definitely said, I think you said they looked impressive to you at some point or something, and they won again.
So they do look good, but I think that it wouldn't surprise me if the same 3 that went up would go down. Just because like resources and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
To say.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. We're just going to go over some confirmed transfers because obviously when you're in the end of the transfer market now, I've just got some interesting ones in here. Well, there isn't too many, but I saw, I guess from the top down, I mean, Arsenal, we talked about this the other day, I've never even heard of this player, Gabriel Paulista, went to Valencia for an undisclosed amount. I have no idea who that
was.
was.
The one with funny teeth? I think it's just
yeah,
like
I've
Gabriel,
yeah. I don't know. And then Matuidi, very good player for PSG. He's gone to Juventus for £30 million.
30 million for a 30
yeah.
euro.
Well, I mean, I think if he came to the Premier League, he cost more than that. They would have put an extra 10 mil on that.
Yeah, probably.
He's a very good player. Very good player. I guess going further down, I mean, Stoke sold a player, Joselu, to Newcastle for £5 million.
Yeah, very unexciting.
Yeah, Jesse Rodriguez, obviously from. Oh, sorry, I said Juventus earlier. Sorry, he's PSG own him now. They bought him from Real Madrid.
Oh,
so
okay.
PSG have sent him on loan to Stoke, obviously. Gylfi Sigurdsson for 45 million to Everton. Now he's only that because of the crazy numbers, but I think he's worth 30 mil. Like, I mean, bear in mind, 45. Fuck it, I would pay it. He's good enough. Like as in, he's a great player. I think he's a brilliant signing.
He's a good signing because they bought a player that knows the Premiership.
And
he will,
he's going to be even better, I think.
Go straight into the team.
He's my fantasy league, and boom, that's it. He's cost a fucking lot though. But I got him for 0.5 million cheaper, I think, so I got him before the move. Or I got him a couple weeks ago. But Sigurdsson's a brilliant. I've always been a huge fan. I know you have as well. Even when Spurs got rid of him, you were still a fan of him.
Well, when we had him, I really liked him.
It just didn't suit the squad, did he?
I don't know. He didn't suit the management at the time. Yeah. But if he was still in our,
he could be in the squad. He could be in most squads.
If he was still in the squad when Pochettino turned up, there's no chance he'd still be in our team.
Yeah, I think Poch would have made him even better. I mean, that's the good thing about your manager. As much as I don't want to say anything else, I'm just trying to make you feel better now. But Poch. Obviously, I've always said to you from the get-go, since before he was hired, I said to you, Poch would be out of everyone that was coming up. Pochettino was the best. I would have picked him as. Do you know what I mean? Like the one thing you know about him.
Turns whatever players we get in.
He's just good.
He'll make better. That's why.
And not only that, he comes across. He doesn't have an ego.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he's got an ego, like everyone's got an ego, but he doesn't have a fucking Mourinho level ego. So yeah. All right, Gareth Barry to West Brom. I didn't know this.
He's
undisclosed amount from obviously from Everton.
Well,
interesting. How old is he now? 34, 33? 36.
36.
He's a bit old now. I don't know about that. How often he's going to show? Good signing.
Yeah, he'll play. He'll still play.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Now, this guy I've heard of a lot, and he's meant to be very good, but also quite never hit that level. From he's gone to Stoke from Porto. Bruno Martins Indy. He played on loan for Stoke. I'm pretty sure, didn't he? For a year before this.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was at Stoke for a year. £7 million. They bought him. I'm pretty sure he was on loan there for a year. At Stoke, I'm pretty certain.
Good for them.
Martin's Indy. He's the only reason I know him is I've been following him for years on FIFA. He's always been one of the ones that went up potentially. So I've always known about it. I've seen him. I'm sure I've seen him at international level as well. And yeah, I've just seen him at Porto games as well. So yeah, pretty. I think a good purchase. He's like a defender, I believe. So midfield defender, I think he played between those roles. But yeah, what else? I don't know who this is, but Ahanach went from Almere City to Brighton. Don't know who that is. Soufan Ahanach. Hope maybe he'll appear for Brighton in the future. I don't know. This one I do know. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, United to Crystal Palace on loan.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's young player, isn't he? Yeah, this is back on the 9th of August. We're only going to go back one more day than this because obviously we haven't had a pod for just every week. And lastly, Mario Lemina went from Juventus to Southampton for somewhere in between 15 and 18 million pounds.
I think he might have played